Anyhow, we're always rolling. Anyhow, here we are, KPXI off the grid, and I really met an American hero. And he doesn't take credit; he's a very humble man. So I've been reading about this guy. I've been reading all the. He really puts out a lot of social media, and we're just going to kind of talk off the grid about a couple things he doesn't really like to talk about, but I need to know more about. We got the Reverend Alan Graham here. He's a best-selling artist here in California.
We're going to now merge with the Apple podcast called The Crystal Ship. If you want to catch it, on apple.com. It's called The Crystal Ship Podcast. And it's all about the Jim Morrison Museum right here, which is about to go off. We're having a soft opening on the 18th of this thing I've been working on for a long time. The final resting place of Jim Morrison, because I got his bones. Nobody knows that.
You got his bones?
Yeah, no one knows that.
Where do you have his
I
bones?
can't tell you too many details.
But if you give me a hint.
But I have them. Listen, when you get cremated, this is what happens.
They got some bony
It's a
parts.
pile of bones. It's not ashes.
Yeah.
You have to grind the bones down to get to ash.
My wife told me about this.
Did you know this is the human potash is the world's greatest fertilizer?
No, so have you been fertilizing here at the studio?
Do you know how we found this out?
How did you find out?
When the Nazis burned all
Oh, the Jews, man. I hear Jews really make good fertilizer.
They put mounds
Of fertilizer.
outside of the camp, and they grew cabbages this big, as big as your head.
Wow, and who ate
They didn't
those?
know that until
No.
somebody analyzed it and said, human potash is the best fertilizer. in the world."
Jewish lettuce.
It could be any
That's
race.
kind of like let us be, let us be.
It could have been any race. It's just a human potash, not Jew potash. Human
Well, it was
potash.
made out of Jews.
So did you see my
Well, a
picket?
couple gypsy potash,
Did you
maybe.
see my picket, a jewelry store downtown, where I picketed a jeweler who was gouging everybody, old lady.
Well, that's why they're jewelers.
No, this was just a kike.
Oh, a kike.
His friends in the business with him, his fellow Jews, call him a kike.
I know.
And
A shyster.
I'm not going to mention his name, is because he and I had it out. I confronted him, and in the end, he was actually turned out to be a real mensch.
Oh.
He came to me. He said he made no apologies because he's in business to get the best price. I give him that. However, he gouged me and a couple other people. He didn't need to. It's just like he just does it as a matter of his nature. Anyway, he told me some personal information that endeared me to him. And now I've become kind of like sympathetic in a weird way because he is the top man in the building. He does get more business than anyone else. And I think it's because he's in the first floor.
Could
but he
be.
pays 10 times as much rent as everybody else.
It's all about location.
That's right. So in a way, I become sympathetic to him, unless I see him deliberately gouging an old lady who's looking just to make some more money on a Social Security check, and he gives her a third of it. That's not fucking right. Not in my world. Anyway, so I'm always doing these kind of undercover busts or pickets. And Sonny, look, I even spell thief wrong. I stood in front of his store the other day.
Thief.
Yeah.
Liar, cheat, boycott.
Boycott.
We
And
can't.
we can't.
Oh, we can't. We'll just edit that out later. Sounds like the jeans I'm wearing.
Now, let me talk to you about the guy behind the camera. This is KPXE Radio, the only nuclear-powered radio station on God's green earth. We are operating in Zoomtown, in the Principality of Lotus Land, a mere figment of my imagination, which is where I like to live.
Wait, before you say something about me, okay, make it quick because I want to get. This is about
We're
you.
getting all of it out of the way so we can
Okay,
answer
just the
questions.
facts.
Just the
Okay, what do you want to say about me? Then we'll go to
So,
you.
I met this man, and he says, I changed his life. I want to know exactly what you're talking. Did you have a sex change?
Yes, I did.
Well, so now you know I'm a quadrosexual, don't you?
I'm a Cinco sexual.
Well, you're single?
I come out on Cinco de Mayo. Once a year.
My respects to you.
I have 5 nipples.
Cinco.
2 under my armpit and 1 up my ass.
Oh, I like this. Getting kinkier and kinkier.
Well, it's the only way to fly. But go ahead. You're on stage.
To make a long story longer, we become very close because he's a mensch.
A
And
mensch.
I'm a mensch. And we have no bullshit. When we talk, he talks in front of anyone what he fucking thinks. And
There's no other way to go.
well, yes, there is. There's a
Well, I'm not
whiny-
an attorney. I'm not full of shit.
No, there's a whiny, slimy, motherfucker who tells you, I'm your best friend, you can trust me. When you hear someone say, you can trust me, yes,
Run.
fucking run. Right, so anyway, this guy comes out off as real as he is inside and outside. There's no veneer, there's no fucking...
No
bullshit.
filter, my wife says. No filter.
That's the other thing, no filter. God bless him for that. But he's also fucking right and truthful.
Sometimes.
And when you're right, what, are you doubting yourself?
No, I do.
Pumping him up?
I'm
You're a
self-deprecating.
bit neurotic.
Yes, I
We
am.
all are. It's a father thing or a fucking mother thing, one or the other. Anyway, I've learned to not be neurotic about a compliment. Bring it, bitch. I used to wince when someone said, you're really good at that. I go, what are you fucking doing? I looked in the mirror and I went, wait a minute.
You should be on radio.
I've been doing psychotherapy for the last 47 fucking years.
On yourself or for other
I know
people.
what the symptoms of everything are. Why don't I look at my own? So I said, I'll have a look. And I said, self, you're neurotic about taking a compliment because you didn't fucking believe in yourself way back then. Now you do. You can take it. Bring it, bitch.
All right, enough about me. Let's get back to you. I mean, there's a lot of things I want to ask you. So you're like you're a quad kind of guy. You're quad sexual, and you have 4 main stories to tell, which I've got to kind of experience a little bit, but I want you to talk a little bit more about them.
4 stories?
Well, yeah, but I have to lead the stories. You're going to say,
you're right.
well,
Okay.
you're being interviewed. We flipped a turn.
Nipple.
And it's not a nipple interview. So you write a lot of books, right?
Yes.
Show me some of the books.
Well, the first one is I remember Jim Morrison.
Okay, so who was that guy?
That's Jim Morrison. He was my brother-in-law.
Really?
Yes, he was.
Oh my God.
I'm published in French, Spanish, and in English. I got
So
publishers in.
I've read some of your stuff. Are you fluent in French?
I speak enough
Well,
just to get laid.
that's all you need.
Now look at the book in French. You see how more elegant it is and how many more pages?
Yes.
They take a little more time with the print and they don't take out shit that other publishers will just rip the bowels on it. They left every single
You're not
thing
the
there.
editor?
Well, no, they edited this, the French one, and the Spanish one was edited by my printer down in, my publisher down in Mexico City.
Well, I got OCD. You know that, right?
I did not
So
know.
I don't, but it sounds good. That's why we're going to move forward with this interview.
When I say fuck you, fucking slut.
I read your book, and I was really taken aback by it.
Which one?
So many. Well, this is about Jim Morrison. I knew Jim Morrison too.
Oh yeah.
Not TWO,
Well,
TOO.
I've written a book about the Beatles, and I've written.
I know. We're going to talk about all
I've
those.
written a book about a book of poems.
So first, let's start with Jim Morrison.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a lot to talk about the man, but I want you to tell me one Jim Morrison story that struck you the deepest.
A poignant one.
Okay, poignant.
On his 9th birthday, his dad, who was hardly ever home because he was 2 years away, and the mother raised him mostly.
This is the Admiral.
Yeah, it was mostly at sea. So his influence was one of a figure who came home first over and he saw him for a minute, and if he was home for a few weeks, all they got from him was fucking discipline. Lock him up, Mary. The Navy shit. If they did something wrong, he would line them up against the wall, the boys, 2 of them. And he would do what they call dressing down, which was an intense, you stand a sailor up and you yell in his face, you fucking piece of nothing. And by the time Jim was like, fuck you. The little one, it broke him. That's what they did with sailors on the ship. You fucking get back in line, bitch.
And build him back up, right?
Yeah, now here's the rule in the Navy. There's the admiral, there's the deck, there's the water, there's the bottom of the water, there's the whale shit, and underneath that is you.
Oh, I can't wait to join.
Well, that's right, but they don't tell you that till you get on board. Anyway, it's a strict life, and Ross Perot once quoted all the Navy officers he ever knew as a bunch of godless bastards. And they were. They didn't.
Get back to Jim Morrison. I have OCD.
I'm telling you where he came from and why.
Okay, he came from a strict disciplinarian admiral.
And so he rebelled and became, fuck you. And when rock and roll came along, he said, I'm hitching to this. And his father said, wait a minute. You fucking brighter than me. You could have been a super groovy admiral, a fucking nuclear one like me. And Jim said, no. I don't like killing people. I want to do rock and roll and get laid. And
I'm into that.
in a concert, he was so drunk one time, he said it better like this. And the crowd is just all drunk and fucked up, and he yelled, hey, wait a minute. I want to say something. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm gonna get my kicks until the whole shit house blows up and the fucking crowd went, rah! What he was talking about, that we were on the brink of fucking nuclear destruction. The Vietnam War was raging, we were ready to fucking nuke them. All our kids were dying all over there. Morrison was not signing up for that shit. All the people we knew were coming back, either shut the fuck up or not at all, or in a box. Country Joe and the Fish sang, be the first one on your block to have the boy come home in a box. Da-da. That was the fucking anthem, and we were not about to play. A lot of people went to Canada, a lot of people dodged the draft, and they were considered like persona non grata. And some of them were pricks that should have gone, and they didn't. They were cowards, but others were truly, genuinely conscientious objectors like Jim Morrison was. He didn't believe in war, he didn't want to kill anybody. He was not a violent man, he freaked out at the sight of it. And when they put you in the Marines, you're gonna fucking kill. Some were, some weren't. So anyway, now he's a loose in the goddamn planet. His father tells him, you want to be a rock star, huh? Well, first of all, I'm calling the FBI, because now you're out of school, you're eligible for the draft. Morrison went to ground in Venice. He hid out on a roof with a friend, sleeping under a fucking tarp, and he ate out of dumpsters. A year later, Ray Manzarek was walking along the beach and he saw Jim and said, Jim, what are you doing? And he went, this, and he had a bottle of whiskey. And he said, what else? And he went, this, and he showed him his poetry. And he said, let's swim to the moon, let's climb to the tide. Surrender to the waiting years, the city sleeps to hide. And Ray Manzarek went, for fuck's sake, come on. I got a studio, I got a band, I don't sing, come along anyway. 1 year later, he was number one in the fucking nation with Light My Fire. And the Admiral looked at it and went, wait a minute, didn't I just fucking tell him that he had no talent? Didn't I just tell him that Frank Sinatra had to work years to be, and you don't have any voice for that? His voice was like liquid gold. It was a reinvention of the crooner. It was a Sinatra, it was a Tony Bennett, smooth, beautiful voice singing, this is the end, beautiful friend.
My favorite scene from Apocalypse Now.
That's right. And it was a mournful, it was a lonesome fucking...
Can you cue a couple lines up from it?
Yeah, it was like, the killer awoke before dawn. He put his boots on. He took a face from the ancient gallery and he walked on down the hall. And he came to a door and he looked inside. Father, yes, son, I want to kill you. Mother,
Yes.
I want to... And he went into the room where his sister lived and he paid a visit to his brother.
Wait, you know his sister, right?
I married his sister.
What?
Yeah.
You married her?
She was my wife. We have 3 children together.
Fantastic.
The most beautiful thing. If I had time, I'd sing you my love song to her. Maybe you'll let me sing it later.
Maybe.
Anyway, so here's Jim Morrison, number one in the fucking nation. The Admiral's looking in his office. Time magazine is saying, your son is now a rock star and against the Vietnam War. You're an admiral. How is that working out for you? Well, he ignored it. He said, yeah, he's making $30,000 a night, and I'm only making $28,000 a year at the time, which was a lot of fucking money. Morrison was making $10,000 a night. He said, yeah, but that's only Hollywood money. The fuck? It's green money. He never acknowledged Jim Morrison being successful. He never acknowledged Jim Morrison being who he was at all. He played it down. He said, he just wouldn't accept it. It was the sickest denial I've ever seen. And I'm a counselor for 47 years dealing with psychotherapy and hardcore criminals and other people with neuroses and really bad DNA that they got from their psycho grandfather or the psycho granny. That's where it all comes from, by the way, our DNA. So, to make a long story longer, this book I've written is...
Hold it up.
There's 360 pages. It's a
How do I find that book?
on Amazon or I remember JimMorrison.com.
You gave it to me at that Italian place.
I did.
And then you asked me for some money, but it was well worth every one of the $600.
No,
It was signed, copy, by the Reverend.
you lying fuck. Okay,
You
anyway.
betcha.
3 languages, It's 360 pages of tell-all. And I mean, I pull no fucking punches. How he died, really? How he was fucked out of his fortune by his bandmates and his manager.
He liked to drink, huh?
Jim, you do have fucking ADD. You like wham!
Well, I have to. I only got, the battery might go dead on
What are
it.
you? You go to you a fucking doctor? Yeah.
I was once upon a time, but I quit that
Don't
nonsense.
get me going.
No, so we got more to talk about. So we're going to just keep going along because I could tell you got OCD. So I heard you knew.
What the fuck is OCD?
It's your fault. Okay, so now I heard you knew the Beatles. Where were you born, sir?
When I was a kid, Liverpool, England. When I was a kid,
I don't believe
the
it.
Beatles, yeah.
Really?
Kingsley Road,
Let's see if he gets the
Liverpool.
town right.
In 1958, the Beatles, before they were the Beatles, they were the Quarrymen. They played in a street festival. King John gave the poor area that I was a little gift, and they bring a band in. Everybody gets a lemonade and cake and a little emblem, and you paint your street up, and you get flowers, and you make a little festival for the poor people, for the poor race. Fucking John Lennon and Paul McCartney and a bunch of other lanky fucks were sitting on top of a hay wagon, a couple of bales of hay, and it was a hootenanny, and they were singing, "Long, long lost John in the morning." It was skiffle back then. It wasn't even rock and roll. A few years later, I'm a tailor at a tailor shop called Jackson the Tailor, 1/2 block from the Cavern, where the Beatles would play on the lunchtime, and a matinee every Tuesday and Friday. On my lunchtime, it was an hour. I'd go over, have a little cold American Coke, a fucking hot dog, and I'd watch the Beatles now in all black leather. They just got back from Germany, little black Beatles.
It's like 64?
Fucking cool. No, this was 61.
Oh, way at the beginning.
So in 62, yeah, 62 it was. And by God, they would play like Little Richard and Elvis, succinctly, beautiful.
Wait, can I interject something?
Yeah.
I'm watching the current political climate, and I know you're about 62, 63.
I'm 80.
And they say guys like you are not sharp as a tack, but I'm here to say, ouch, you fucking don't forget a thing. How does that work?
Give me the $4 back.
Okay, no, later. Take credit. Okay, so we're back at the Cavern Club, 1961. The Beatles are in leather.
I knew those fuckers. There was something special about them. I'd go there, and every time they'd be coming out, I'd only go when they were playing. The other groups I didn't care about. The Beatles had black leather. They were cool. They combed their hair down. That was considered long hair. It was short in the fucking back. But they were dynamic. John Lennon had a cheeky fucking face. He'd stand up on the stage and he'd do, yeah, long, tall, Sally She's, all a Little Richard shit. So up there, over there, I'm gonna get it for you.
Okay.
In fact, go over and get it yourself. Take the camera, go over there and get the poster that Little Richard came to Liverpool.
Where's
in
it at?
19 over the fucking fireplace.
Okay, we got to come over here
Go see
in
it.
this
I'm gonna
museum.
Take a film of it first.
Oh, here it is. Okay.
So
Little Richard
1962, Little Richard came to Liverpool.
with the Beatles.
Look at the way they look.
Look at that. Wait, I'm going to get close. They need a haircut. Yeah, okay.
Like that.
We're not, man, that's an old poster.
Yeah,
That thing is 61 years old.
yeah.
Wow, okay, so
Classic. So
You
when
got
I
it.
open my whiskey bar,
Wait.
it'll be full of old posters.
wait, who's this guy right next to it? Who's this security guy?
Al Jack. Stay away from him.
Okay.
He's fucking silly.
Okay, we're coming back. So you were there at the beginning.
Remember Mad Magazine?
Yeah, of
The
course.
Spy versus the Spy?
Yeah, absolutely.
There
Black
he
and
is.
white.
There he is.
Where? Oh, here he is.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He busted out of Mad Magazine. He went paying him enough.
He's there in the studio.
He moved in with us.
It's the white guy, the good guy. Okay, so we got the Beatles. Now I want to, I was reading some other stuff because I'm still
Wait a
skipping.
minute, Michael
Oh,
Caine
we
came
got your
by,
pith
And he
helmet.
left this for me from the
Michael
movie
Caine
Zulu. Yeah.
The Zulu King
Yeah.
or the Lizard King?
Frank Sinatra was here, and Ronald Reagan came after he died.
Ronald was here.
I've got his sign out there, a star on the walkway outside. All right, what's the question?
Okay, here's the next question. Now the new thing I've been researching is Captain Pink, and before you talk about Captain Pink, obviously you were hanging out with a real horn dog.
Horn dog?
Yeah, wasn't he a horn dog before he got shot?
Yeah, he was.
Well, I mean, I just want to ask you this, and I'm not saying this. What's it like to hang around with a Pussy Meister, the king of porn? I mean, was there a lot of pussy around you? Just
I'm
asking.
talking about Larry Flint.
Larry Flint.
Yeah.
for president.
I was Larry Flint's right hand for several years.
Really?
I brought him through suicidal depression. I was his counselor, his friend, his bodyguard, his security chief, his private investigator, and his bag man.
Wow.
And that's a true confession right now. But there's a lot more to the Larry Flint story. If you want to find out more about it,
Show us the book.
go into no.
Oh.
I don't do him yet.
Oh.
I haven't done him yet. Go to the Springfield News Leader in Springfield, Missouri. The headline is, you just punch it into the computer, Alan Graham / the warden's daughter / Larry Flint / Springfield, Missouri, 1983. Now,
I read
right
that
on
in the
down,
Coronado Clarion.
what comes up is the whole story of what that was. So it's too convoluted to go into it. So let's move on to the next
Okay,
one.
the next thing I want to talk about is Sylvester Stallone.
Just wrote a story this morning.
Okay, and what's it
Saw
about?
that.
And the Coronado Clarion.
I sent it to you. It was
With a lot of
about-
couple years back references about his son
Back in
Sage.
the day, before I met Larry Flint, Sylvester Stallone was the one who was interested in making a movie about Jim Morrison. He and I collaborated on it until my own father-in-law, the Admiral, backstabbed me and blackballed me in Hollywood and lost my chance to go with MGM and Stallone because he wouldn't give them the rights. So I was Sylvester Stallone's, also his child's bodyguard, mentor,
Best
part-time
friend.
teacher, and all around toy. I took him in the fucking Maserati. We drove down the street singing Doors songs. We drove in and out of people's driveway. We grabbed flowers out there. We had a fucking hell of a time. We'd go to a fire station. The fireman would show us all the hoses. He was fucking thing. We saw a broken down traffic light. We jumped down. He grabbed the green glass and ran home with it. And we'd go to junkyards and get hubcaps and we'd put them all over this fucking beautiful lawn fence. And Stallone would come and go, mwah. So we put him inside a fucking hut. And Stallone would still go, to a dirty thing. He was a clean.
So you knew Bridget Nielsen.
I did.
What was she like?
Horrible cunt.
Oh. How about any of his other wives? How about the new wife?
Hey,
You don't know her?
take a look. You know what I'm saying? What's the word? And you shall know him by his fruits. Look at the fruits of those women, every single fucking one of them, with the exception of his first wife, Sasha. She was a movie usherette in New York, and he came in, kind of like this little blonde chick. I'm going to be a movie star one day. She believed him.
Well, he believed in himself.
He fucking did.
And he
Can't
proved
take that
it.
ever away from him. He had this block. First of all, people don't know, but Stallone was paralyzed on this side, this arm, and this leg. And if you look,
From what? Oh, Stallone.
Stallone.
Oh, that's where he got the
He
accent.
was a half-bred.
Oh.
What am I going to say? One of those, like Richard III. But Stallone's wasn't that pronounced. But if you look closely, he's only photographed on this side.
I never
And if he
knew
ever
that.
does that side, it's only to go, Adrian.
What do you think about his TV show called
Why do you fucking step on people's great lines? Now, come on.
What?
Listen,
I got OCD?
What is OC fucking D?
I don't know, but it sounds good.
Fuck.
Okay, I'm sorry.
If
I can't.
swear too much. I say I got Tourette's.
I didn't mean to step on your
See,
line.
you
Back
just
to
fucking
Silva.
stepped on the
Well,
stepping
no, I
line.
didn't. Go with go.
Listen, get your fingers out of the picture too. You got your fingers.
No, it's not. It was earlier.
Well,
Well, that goes backwards.
Open your hands up like this.
Let me see your middle finger. Was that famous with Larry Flint?
Yes, it was.
Really?
He
Okay.
did it to every joke.
You don't want to talk about
He
that.
did it to every joke. Well, you take your finger up or I lose my shit. Your
My
fingers
finger
are
is
on
not
it.
on there. It's in there. There it
You
is now.
just fucking lift them up.
Yeah, I can lift them up.
There you go.
Okay, you're
Hey.
making you nervous. I don't mean to step
We'll have
all
to
over
edit
you.
this out. Take your hand up.
I'm
to
giving
your-
you a breather.
You got your fingers in the.
It's
fucking-
not in the picture.
I can see.
Edit that shit out later. So here's the next question. I
Take your
told
hand away
you.
from the camera, please.
No. It's well. How am I going to hold it?
With one hand, or put the other hand underneath.
Okay.
But
So
don't put your hand on
how
this-
does one guy fortuitously, whatever that means, end up with these four amazing circumstances?
Four,
Well, that I know about, and I
Watch
just
this.
met you.
always a lad of opportunity. Always looking for this, the celestial door to open. Once inside, you still have to make good. Well, watch. You go through the door and you read the room, and you read who's in the room, and you look carefully. I mean, if you read the room well, you will know where you fit. By that I mean everyone else is gonna go.
Well, I got a quick story to interject here. I was
You
looking
didn't
at.
get that, did you?
Yeah, I do.
What did I say?
You said when you walk into a room,
No, the end of it.
you'll know where to go.
No, I said
Interject.
when I'm in, everyone else is gonna go. I command it.
Okay.
That's what I'm telling you. You missed that part.
I miss a lot. I got OCD.
Don't give a shit. It's the camera that's seeing it.
Okay, well, we'll see this later. So,
OCD.
I forgot what I was going to say, but so,
Move on.
if I had met you when I was a younger man, what would I be like now?
The
Bye.
same, only what's the word? More adventurous.
More?
Yes, more,
Wow.
more daring. You kind of like a little bit reticent.
I'm not reticent at all. I don't hold back. I'm
Glad to hear
unfiltered.
that. What I'm saying is, I have an attitude of listen to this. I can guarantee with absolute fucking certainty, and your finger's right in the lens.
It's not in the lens.
Why don't you just take your fucking hand off?
Because I'll drop the camera. It's
Put your
not.
hand underneath, over here, like
Oh,
this.
I just saw it. It was in the lens. It's the camera's over here.
You're irritating the fuck out of me.
Well, it's. I thought you
Put
never
your
got
fucking
irritated.
hand on the,
Okay.
hold it. Yes. No.
You can do that?
No. Hand.
Oh, like this?
No. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't read the instructions.
Wait. Cut all that out. Edit it.
You can edit it
We had a
out.
good thing. I was
No, we
telling
still
you.
do. Let's get back to it.
What was I telling you?
It didn't matter. I said if I'd met you when I was a younger man, what would I
let
be
me
like
tell you,
now?
I'm talking about you.
Okay, just about me.
You said your life changed, and you never did answer why.
You changed it because I was giving up on it, but then I met an inspiration, you. You write, you're prolific, you put content out there, you say it like it is, you're a character, you're my kind of guy. There's not many people like you I ever meet.
So I said this to you. You just heard it this morning, but I'm going to say it again, and I'm saying it to all fucking everybody who thinks what you just said to me. I was about to give up. Watch. Don't give up till it's over. Don't quit if you can. The weight upon your shoulders will make you a stronger man. Clutch your nettles tightly. Oh, they're gonna burn. Treat your failures lightly. Your luck is bound to turn. Now listen to the end of it. Look at the autumn flowers, how they wither and fade. But with nature's hidden powers, in spring they will be remade. So don't give up till it's over. Don't give in if you can. The weight upon your shoulders will make you a stronger man, woman, child, daughter, kid, any fucking thing. Don't give up. Let me tell you
You
why.
don't have any fat ladies around here, right?
Fat ladies?
Because it ain't over till the fat lady sings.
Oh, I like that.
Okay, you can use it.
Listen to this.
Thank you.
I have an edict, and it's in the same vein. Never give in, never give up, and never back down unless it's just to get a better footing. Now, I really firmly believe that. And the reason I believe that is because I survived 5 assassination attempts when I was with Flint and Stallone and a few other people. And those were the ones I saw coming and thwarted myself. But when I left that position, some of my fellow operatives gave me some information that there were 11
attempts.
11 more.
That's 16.
16. And I survived them all. So I live with this absolute certainty that I'm not ready. God is not going to say, number 9, your time is up. He's got bigger plans for me. And I'll tell you why I know that. Because everyone I meet lately is beginning to be like you.
What does that mean?
Someone I should have met a long time
Well,
ago.
just for-
someone who should have met me a long time
Ah,
ago.
thank you.
And there's a word synergism, and that's
That's
what
right.
I'm trying
Or
to tell you. today.
synchronicity.
That too.
Yeah.
But that's more ethereal. Synergism is physical. Listen to this. This is
So
quantum.
1 and 1 is 4.
This is 101 quantum physics. Listen to me carefully. And I graduated with a degree in stupidity. I mean it. I got hit by a truck when I was 8. I lost a year. And when I came back, I thought houses were worth smiling at. And people used to say, this fucking boy is coming in on only 3 engine. He's got a head full of mashed potatoes. But I didn't. I was seeing beautiful spiritual visions and things that I could see a phony coming down the street, almost like a halo around him. I could smell a shitbag around the corner. These were the senses that came to me after I got hit in the head. So anyway, I was a dysfunctional child. I grew up in a rough city, poverty. I was a wheelman for the Kingsley Road mob in Liverpool, a tough bunch of fucking kids. I was a wheelman at 15. And in and out of reformatory, remand homes, young boys, still young prisoners. And then I saw the fucking light. I fell into the hands of the British military who taught me everything, how to sew a button on, how to save a life, carotid, subclavian, brachial, and femoral pressure points to stop bleeding or to induce bleeding, how to kill. And then I remember, to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under the heaven, a time to kill and a time to heal. And listen, it's all biblical, but if the British military were the most efficient soldier ever on this earth.
But aren't you Scottish?
Scottish,
Right.
Irish,
Okay.
English,
So we
Welsh,
were
French.
thinking yesterday. I have a song request because I know you love to
Go on.
sing. Are you ready?
I am.
I want you to sing the national anthem, Molly Malone.
My favorite song.
All right. Let's hear it.
But I sing it differently.
You can sing it however you want. It's a cover tune.
In Dublin's first city, where the girls are so pretty, I first set my eyes on sweet Molly Malone. As she wheeled her wheelbarrow through streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels alike. Alive-o. She was a fishmonger, and so was no wonder, for so were her father and mother before, as they wheeled their wheelbarrows through streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels alike. Alive-o. She died of the fever, and no one could save her. And that was the end of sweet Molly Malone. Now a ghost wheels her barrow through streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels alike. Oh, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, crying cockles and mussels alive. Alive, oh. God bless you, Molly.
Oh,
Malone.
that was great. You know, I when I was there and I saw her,
Oh.
and then I started getting on the
Great
internet.
show.
You sing better than anybody else. I'm gonna just go. Show me that jacket behind you. I'm gonna tell you why. When I first met you, and this was at your shop in the Coronado,
Yeah. This is
and I wore that same jacket to where was that? Woodstock 50. And I walk in. This guy's got the only other jacket like that in the world, and this is pretty fantastic. So maybe he can talk about it a little bit.
Well, you know, I got 11 personalities, I say. but
11.
I'm really joking.
Oh, my finger was in the
I
camera.
got like 50. I
50.
swear to God.
What's your number one?
This is Al Graham.
Oh, Al Graham.
He's the leader.
The Reverend.
Yeah, he's the leader. No, the Reverend's second in command.
All right.
But he's the one who keeps it all in shape, the Reverend, because without him, all hell would. Al Jack would break loose and kill a bunch of fucking people. He would. Anyway, look, I want to say something to
All right,
to
I'll be
everybody.
quiet.
And that's just sincere. I lost a dear friend recently, Eddie Zeller, and I just did a long video about it. But it really hurt me because on Friday he was saying, "You look really sick." Well, I got a cold. Tuesday morning he was dead, and it was a bit negligent on his own part because he was going for surgery anyway in a few days, his foot, and he had a problem and he broke it. It was like, but he had evidently a serious blood clot, I think, in his foot. Before he go to the thing, he took a dirt nap on us. However, we had a seance, some woman had a seance, said they met him at the gates and he was welcomed like a hero and he's already playing pranks and plotting to fuck us up down on earth for fun. But he's an angel now, but on earth, he was a man to go to the well with. And if you want to know what that means, look it fucking up. It's an old Texas phrase. Look it up.
Does this have something to do with that?
With what?
The whiskey bar?
No, it has something to do with if you go somewhere and you need someone to go with you, you better have a man to go to the well with. A man to go to the well with, in the old days in Texas, you would have a Sharps carbine or a peacemaker or whatever, and anyone saw him coming would say, that is not a guy to be fucked with. In essence, that's a man to
So
go to the well.
you pack a well maker all the time, don't you?
You know what? I got a band called Frankie Setback and the Ghost Cowboys.
Yeah.
And that's where that name came from. A little town called Setback, northeast of San Antone. There's a little town on a hill where these people would go to the well, the ancient 1800 pioneers would go to the well, they'd be met by Mexicans, they'd be met by Indians, and all kind of critters that would rip your face off because it wasn't your day. Anyway, because of the force of these people with the gun, a compromise was reached. Naturally, the Indians said, well, I'm not going on that fucking day with those guys. And even the critters knew not to come. And the Mexicans, they didn't have as good guns as us, so they stayed back too. That's how this country was fucking settled, with the stuff of men to go to the well with. And if you've got one in your life, it means you don't have to look around.
I got you, babe.
You do.
All right, I'm good.
And your wife does.
All right, so I want to talk real quick. I was looking at some old pictures on my iPhone 6 the other night, and all of a sudden I find this picture the first night we met you. And you're in your little mobile go-kart, and I remember we're at this Italian restaurant. You driving my wife, you gave her compound fracture, tib fracture, and you broke her right kneecap, and she still loves you anyhow.
You're kidding me.
No, you know, but she loves you. She had
Wait a minute.
Medicare. Everything's good.
What? You fucking lying.
Well, I learned from the best. So you know, you're an American citizen. Are you a proud American?
Don't get in my way, bitch.
Okay, what's that flag behind you mean? That red, white, and blue? Because I love it.
God bless America. Listen to me.
I'm listening.
I walked by a county courthouse square. An old man on a bench was sitting there. I said, your flag up there is leaning a bit. He said, nah, it'll do for our little town. And I said, well, your flagpole's a little rickety, and that's a ragged old cross you got on there. And he said, have a seat. And I sat down. And he said, is this the first time you've been to our little town? I said, yeah. And he said, well, I want to tell you a story. Now, I'm not going to go into it, but I'm going to tell you it went something like this, to make a long story longer. That flag got shut the fuck up in the Civil War. It got shut the fuck up when the English tried to take this country. It got blown to pieces in Germany. It got a big hole in it from a Bertha gun. And it got shit and pissed on by anti-American fucks in this country.
Still does.
Yeah, you're right. And people who come from this country too, fucking sand jockeys, and tell me my country's a big bully. You know what?
Go home.
America leads this planet in technology. Listen, military strength, charity, the most generous fucking country in the world. We assimilate people from all over, and if they become proud Americans like this limey came here in 1967 with the stench of socialism in his nostril, the union people and the saying, don't you work too fucking fast, you'll run us out of a job, don't you make me look bad, what, you're sitting on your fat ass? Listen, I loathe that socialist system that said, don't fucking work too fast, let's make this last 2 weeks. You're putting yourself out of business because you're putting a fucking guy out of... In the end, I got a chance, I came here and I was here 24 hours, and Jim Morrison's mother said to me, I want you to get up after your breakfast, go across the street, turn a corner, go down half a mile to Yorktown High School. They've got a construction site there. I want you to go get a job. And I said, yes, fucking ma'am. And I got me some tools, and I walked down there, and I went on the job, and the guy said, are you a carpenter? And I said, Yes, kinda. I said, I'm looking for a mentor. And he said, get over there. He gave me a job for 3 times more than I'd ever earned. And I was watching Cadillacs whizzing by. And I was watching steaks this big in front of me that was for 8 people where I fucking came from. And I was watching luxury and magic every turn with television. The fucking system of mail, the system of tools were brilliant. They were fucking steel, Bethlehem steel, not cheap Jap shit. I fell in love. And I said, it's on. 6 weeks later, my father-in-law said to me, Alan, I'm going to Vietnam, and you're going to drive the family across the country from Virginia to Cali. So in the end, we packed everything on a truck, and we loaded Granny up, and we drove to Beverly Hillbillies, that is. And we got here, I went, fuck me, paradise. And I never, ever, ever looked sideways. And to this day, when people say to me, where'd you go on vacation? I say, Coronado. The fuck?
What happened to that America?
Listen,
I'm
I
listening.
don't like the ne'er-do-wells condemning this country, nor do I like to hear that America's gone. My ass! I can take you, if you're a discerning man, you know where the shitbags, you know where the parasites, you know where the anti-American fuckers are, and you just don't go in their world. But I'll tell you this, 78%, 80% of this country's solid, fucking patriotic, rock-hard Americans who know what they've got. Yes, it's very difficult these days because things have gone up through the fucking roof, but in the end, a fella can still say, I'm gonna open a dick doctor business. I'm gonna open a cunt sandwich. I'm gonna open a whale fucking fricassee bar and make it if he believes it. If you believe it, build it and they will come. The essence of America. Build it and they will come. You don't have to drain your life away in a dead-end job. If you're any kind of proficient on a computer, you can go live in fucking Tukahunga in Bali or wherever and do your work.
You can be a video nomad.
Yeah. Hey, be a video. I like that one.
Hey, do me an infomercial. We got to pay the bills here. Hold up the book and do like a little like infomercial here
Listen
of
to
what
this.
you got.
I want to tell you, this is in its 7th printing.
Wow.
And I've been selling this on Amazon. And one other thing, I never reduced the price of this.
You shouldn't.
And I'll tell you why. I said if I reduce it, everybody will buy it at that price. I will never sell it again. So every publisher does this. Say you're going to print 500,000 copies of a bestseller, and say you only sell 380,000 copies. Well, they're called remainders. Guess what happens to them?
They ripped the cover off.
No, they go in a bargain basement book in one of the bookstores for $2, and guess what? You don't get any of that $2 because it's off the books now. Listen to what happened. Albert Goldman, the great rock writer. I know all this personal information about how this system goes because of this. You get $800,000 upfront publishing fee because you're a well-known book and you're going to sell $250,000 minimum, and you're all going to make your money back. But if you go to $500,000 and you don't sell them all, you are persona non gratis. By this I mean, your book went to $2. All those fucking books gone quick because they want the money. You could have saved them, sold them at 20 if you had not lowered the price. And that's my motto. Don't lower your price. Don't go with the studio. Don't go with the publisher. Publish your own shit. Distribute your own shit. Don't go into bookstores. They'll take a chunk of it. Sell it online.
So you're on Amazon, correct?
Everywhere. But listen to what happens on. They put full price on Amazon. The only money I pay is $1 to Amazon. The buyer pays the shipping and delivery. The only other fee is PayPal or one of the money channels that I have to send it through. The postage is paid. The book is paid for. I'm making 8% profit on my book.
Good. Give me another. What other books you got
Your fingers
there?
are in the fucking lens.
No, they're not.
These ones.
Oh, give me my fingers. I'm fucking amateur.
You, man. You want
I'm
me-
amateur. So we've
know
talked
what?
about a lot of
This
shit
whole-
today.
this could be a
We could do
podcast.
this for hours, but
No, but
I only
it
got
doesn't
so
have to
many
be a
megabytes.
video.
I'll podcast with
I'm
you.
just thinking, this doesn't have to be a
I know what
video.
to say.
Listen,
And you even
It doesn't have to be a video. We just chopped a video.
we can do
It's
that.
a podcast.
You got pissed because I kept interrupting you. But give me another book on that pile, that table there. You got.
Well-
I knew Jim too.
I wrote before the Beatles were famous.
Oh, okay, that was
That's over
good.
there, but I also wrote a book of poems, and I'm going to sing one. I'm
All
gonna
right,
sing
here we
one.
go.
The Greeks called poets singers of songs, even though
That's
they
what
didn't
Jim Morrison
sing, they didn't
was,
sing
right?
songs. Yes, the Greek poets. So they revered their poets, and because they told the stories of the sagas and all of the stuff that went on in real Greek life, not the bullshit you read after the fact. These were the singers of songs who did not sing; they recited poetry. So here's a poem for your dear wife.
My wife. All right.
Yes, lovely lady. And it's to you before you met her
All right.
as well. You're a young man, lonely,
Boo hoo hoo.
wanting. Don't mock
Or is that? No, I'm not. I'm mocking myself. I'm self-deprecating.
Don't fucking mock
I don't say boo hoo. I say boo hoo
This
Jew.
is a precious moment to you and your wife now.
Okay,
Stop
I'm
mocking,
sorry. I'm
or I'll
sorry.
pull your fucking dick off.
Oh, that'll
But I
hurt.
don't
I
mean
like.
that in a good way.
I would. The worse, the better.
So here, this is a poem about you as a youth, pining for somebody to meet, like a good, strong, hardworking, industrious wife.
I got that girl.
Not some fucking long-legged, good blowjob that fucks everybody.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Like in Coronado.
Yeah, like our friend.
We won't say his name.
Here's to you, my dear, and here's to you, my good friend. She walks among the asters which kiss her fingertips. The babies in the swallow's nest whisper of her beauty, and life in all the fields sings out in morning song. They sing, your love is coming, with lips so warm, like morning sun. He's passing through our fields to touch your lonely heart. And she was waiting for you, and you met, and it was a wonderful bond.
Serendipity.
Little
You know,
more than that.
we've been chatting for 47 minutes, and I think we could do this for like 8 hours.
Fuck, you and I
But
can.
I got to tell you this. You know why we can't do a podcast?
Tell me.
Because you're a visual guy. And just to hear you ain't the same. You're like multimedia, multi-senses. To see you, to hear you, to watch your mannerisms, even though you're not moving around a lot. You know, so,
So listen, this is what can happen.
Oh.
The video stays, but you can also get it on audio.
all right, well, that's good. So I want you to cue up your favorite Jim Morrison song.
It's a small one.
Okay, do you have it on this ancient
It's
reel to reel?
It's a cappella,
Ooh,
and I'm going to sing it for you.
okay, that's even better.
It's called Indian Summer. The Indian Summer was what we call a fall spring. It's a wind that blows off the desert. Instead of blowing a cold wind, it brings the desert heat this way. And it's called a Santa Ana, Saint Anna. And it's a glorious day in March. It's 75 degrees and the wind is warm. And it's like fall spring. The Indians called it. Fall spring, they called it. Also, they had another name for it. Don't lose concentration.
I'm not.
Telling you important.
I'm
facts.
listening.
You're looking all over.
I'm looking at what else I got to put on the video. Indian Summer.
So
Go.
Indian Summer was one of Jim Morrison's favorites. He came from the East Coast and everything, but he'd been in Cali, and he knew that in the winter this Indian summer would come. And say you're blue or you're hangover or you're a little bit down, this Indian summer would come in the winter and cheer you up like a breath of fresh air, like an Indian summer wind. So here's the song. I love you the best, better than all the rest. Indian summer, I love you the best, better than all the rest that I need in the summer. Indian I love you the best, better than all the rest. Indian summer, Indian summer.
Excellent, thank you. Well, we've had a short hour here, and we've gone over a lot of things.
We're quitting?
No, we're not quitting. We got a couple more minutes. I interrupted you, and I got OCD, but I got it all. I got a lot of questions answered. We've got to know you a little bit better, but I think all your other fans know you
Let me
already.
sing your song to my ex-wife, Jim Morrison's sister.
Ann Graham.
I just finished this song a few months ago.
All right.
Wrote it when I left, the day I left, 37 years ago. I left reluctantly. She didn't want to go. I didn't want to go. It was a matter of coming against the behemoths, the admiral, the powers in Hollywood, and the money. And I was this big compared to all of that. And I was told, like Jim told his father, you'll never do anything. Well, I said, well, fuck you all. I went and got the worst people. I recruited the mob. I recruited Larry Flint, worst in the mob. I recruited the Jewish Defense League. Herb Rubin was my right hand. We went on many missions before he was murdered in prison. Herb Rubin. Yes, I'm a big supporter of Israel. Yes, I was a big supporter of Herb Rubin. And when he killed himself, he jumped over the fucking top tier federal prison. And the guy who snitched him off, Alex, his little right hand, got hit with a fucking cinder block the next day in another prison, killed out of vengeance. Herb couldn't take it anymore. He was gone for life on the testimony of that piece of shit. Alex, don't even remember. I forgot his last name. He was such a fucking lowlife. He was not for the state of Israel. He was in it to get money for whatever Herb could raise.
What's that have to do with Ann?
Story of Ann?
Yeah, well, you were going to sing a song about your
I don't
ex.
know what the fuck happened.
I don't know.
We'll cut
I
that
don't know. So, we're coming. I got OCD, so let's wind this up. We can do this all the time.
Okay.
Have you enjoyed this
I
interview?
left my wife reluctantly, and I wrote this song about it. I never forgot it. I still love it.
There you go. We're back on track.
Well, that's where I went off. Where I went off.
I know.
When I went off.
Got you back.
Out of anger. But anyway, I wrote this tender song, and I'm going to sing it to you a cappella.
All right.
I went away long ago. I said I must go, searching for the gold I already had in my home. I stayed away for so long, but still she was strong, waiting for me just to come back home. But I roamed around from town to town, a mine for diamonds in Coronado silver sand, and still she'd wait with grace and love unbound. If I fell down, she was there, no doubt in her mind that I would always wend my way back home. But I roamed around from town to town on a mine for diamonds on silver sand, and still she'd wait with faith and love unbound. When I decided I would end that quest and its trend, leading me but wall to one back trail. But when I returned, I found that she had gone. You'll never hold her close again, catch the wind or feel the rain. You're never gonna find one like your own first love. And I roamed around from town to town on a mine for diamonds on silver sand, and still she'd wait with grace and love unbound. You will never hold her close again, catch the wind or feel the rain. You're never gonna find one like your own first love.
Excellent. What a lucky woman.
Did I say a
You
poem
did.
for your
I'm
wife?
gonna, huh? Yeah, we just sang it. Anyhow, I'm gonna get another view here. with the Wooden Indian, the Last Whiskey Bar. You know, my life wouldn't be the same without you in it.
Well, thanks, son. I'm
You know.
really flattered.
Well, no, you should be. And everyone that meets you, their life is fuller.
If I had my way, it would be people by people like you who do not lie. I'm not saying we're perfect, but I'm saying I can expect nothing but the fucking straight truth. out of
That's
you.
right.
But whatever you see, be it good or bad, for your own detriment.
What did Jack Nicholson say in that movie? A Few Good Men.
I don't know.
He said,
you
say it.
Take the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
You can handle the truth.
All right, so we're gonna wipe. You know, you started by telling us about. Do the KPXI sign out.
This is KPXA, the only nuclear radio station on God's green earth. This is Elliot Rosewater, your host. I'm signing off with my dear friend, the Doc. And Doc, I love you, baby.
We'll do this again soon.
Good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are. Jimmy Durante.